Hello, everybody. This is Two Mamas, No Manual. You're a friendly neighborhood podcast of just moms trying our best and getting to know other people who are just trying their best also. I am Danny.
And I'm Leah, and today we have a special guest, Kristin. She owns her own practice. She did surrogacy, so we are going to dive right in and get to know all the details about motherhood in that realm. So tell us about your practice first.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Kristin. I own the Magic Speech Bus. I am a speech therapist and I work with kids pretty much all around Berks County. Mostly right now I'm southern Berks, I guess. I'd have to kind of look at a map to kind of see, but I do some work in Reading area, and then I'm over in the kind of Daniel Boone School District area of Berks County, and my practice is run out of a bus.
I love that.
It's all rainbow colors and sunshine and clouds and things. It's very pretty.
Like Miss Frizzle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Love that.
So I take the bus to local parks and playgrounds and work with kids outside, like in nature, and we do a lot of physical movement.
Very cool.
And then, especially in the wintertime when it's just not so nice out, we do a lot of our therapy in the bus.
Love that.
We play games and we make arts and crafts, and it's just a blast every day.
What inspired you to do that? Like, that's such a neat
Yeah, with the bus.
yeah.
I feel like I had a midlife crisis.
We love those. That's how we started most of our businesses.
Yes,
so.
exactly. It was just feeling really burnt out at what I was currently doing. I was also a pretty new mom. My daughter was maybe a year old, and I just I got to do something different. And
were you in like a corporate job, or were you?
It was speech, and I was working at another private practice, but it was like your stereotypical like
clinical.
Office.
Yep.
Yes, very clinical,
Yep.
and it was fun, and I worked with kids, but
great.
I really wanted to just completely switch it up. And I had seen somebody else, years prior on Facebook who had a mobile clinic, and they converted this big old bus. I think they even fit a rock wall in there.
Oh, wow.
And
I mean, it's
I need to
crazy
do this.
what you can do with that type of space,
Right. So, I had always dreamed of owning my own private practice, and I thought it was going to be rent an office building and have a clinic.
A unit, yeah.
Right. And then I was like, wait, instead of renting an office building, why don't I just buy a vehicle?
I love that.
And then my husband is very supportive of all these kinds of things. He's like, he's very logical too. He's like, if you can show me the paperwork and you can show me the cash flow plan, or whatever.
Give me the business plan.
Right. Show me the expected profits or whatever. And he's like, then you can do it. He wouldn't have said no if I was like, I am going to do this. Like, he can't stop me.
Yeah.
Right. But with his support, I bought the bus and had it all converted on the inside.
Did you guys do all the work together? Or?
No. So I'm not super handy.
Yeah.
He's little, but it's not his thing.
Yeah.
So I found a place. They're actually all the way down in Maryland, but they do van life conversions and things like that.
That's awesome.
So I think I know that company. Yeah. I've seen some of their stuff, which is
there's
cool. They do ultra modern ones.
Though. My husband is very handy, cars, building stuff, and he's trying to find a niche right now. And converting vans, I never even thought about that.
There you go.
That's a good idea. Another business adventure.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, it's pretty cool.
Get them away from the Mustangs. Be like, hey, babe, if you want to fix a car,
I got a bus for you.
Fix a bus for tons of money. Because, wow.
It's pretty
so
cool.
exciting. So how many years have you had your own practice?
I think this year will be the 3rd year.
Awesome.
Or maybe we're going into the 4th.
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of started it. It was like a soft launch in 2022. And then I didn't get the bus fully, I didn't get the bus until 2023, and then had to get it converted and all that jazz. So really 2023 was when it kind of hit the road.
Nice.
So
This is a weird question, but I just have to ask it. Is there a bathroom in it? Or
there's not.
Okay, so you use when you park somewhere, you'll use the public bathrooms.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's one of the things. It was I had to kind of save space and kind of save costs and things with what I had. So the space that I had to work with in the bus. So I chose I'm going to meet families at parks that have bathrooms.
Yeah,
Yes.
smart.
Honestly, that's nice for you too.
Yeah.
So just
what's your age range? because younger kids, you can just sit them on those little like
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
families have those like
Yeah.
portable potties in
Yes.
their trunks, which
Yeah.
I never did
kept
that,
one.
but
We do.
that's smart.
We kept that until
Yeah.
she was like older too, because we'd be in ride. She had like a little Elmo one.
I would
It was,
still love
like,
that.
she'd be like 5
Yeah.
years old, and I'm like, hit the toilet at the back,
Right.
like
Those
That
little-
is
Mhm.
valid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've thought about getting like just one of those little like pop-up like squatty potties
Yep.
for bathroom emergencies, because
Yep.
sometimes we're out,
Doing your
way
thing.
far away from where the actual like facilities are. It's,
Yeah.
it's really interesting logistics to try to figure
Yeah.
out when you're just like off in a park with kids, but you're also doing speech therapy
Yep.
and
Yeah.
like the parent is around, but usually like a lot of times they're hanging back in their car, or they're going on a walk.
So it's like you trying to figure out. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I
that's a
use
lot.
like a walkie-talkie system with some of my parents,
Oh,
where
that's
like
cool.
we're gonna be like way off over by the creek area, but
Yeah.
they want to go do their thing.
Yeah.
So, but as far as age range, I could work with anyone as even like a little toddler, or I've worked as young as like 18 months on the bus, and then I work through teenagers to however old
Yeah.
you want to be on a bus.
Yeah.
At a
Yeah.
certain age, they're kind of like I
think
don't
it's
really
us
want to
there.
do that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
most of my kids are around 5, 6, 7 years old,
Awesome.
and they all love it.
Yeah, I love speech therapists. River, my son, he's 7 now, but when he was 2 years old, he hadn't said a single word. And so I was getting a little concerned because he crawled early, he walked early, and I could tell his comprehension because we would have, posters and books. I'd be like, can you point to the orange? Instantly. Apple, sandwiches.
Yep.
He knew what everything was and what everything was called, but he simply, no mamas, no dadas at 2 years old. And so I brought in a speech therapist, and truly just like nourishing play, and somehow just instantly within like a few weeks he just started saying all of the words. He had them all locked up.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to like say them out loud.
I feel like boys do take a little bit longer also. Like my brother has 2 sons, and his eldest son and Arya are like a couple months apart, and Arya started talking like very soon. Like I feel like she was talking before a year old, like babbling stuff, but still words. And he was a while.
Every kid's different,
Every kid's
so
different.
it's just
I like the phrase. I think you just said like nourishing play or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
But like that's like pretty much that's like the secret sauce. That's
Yeah.
like what it is. It's just playing with your kid. There's at 2 years old, you don't need to sit them down and like show them the flashcards or
Right.
make them repeat the word 10 times.
apple,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that stuff has its place, but like when it comes like down to the root of it, it's just playing with your kid and giving them that environment that encourages expression and just allows them to participate in I wouldn't say like the conversation. I know
Right.
they're babies and they're so little, but they do participate in our daily routines, and just
Yes.
giving them space to kind of take the lead will open a lot of doors for them.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's something that you learned like with going through schooling, or that's what you picked up on just like being in the practice, working in your old practice, like your own touch of therapy?
Yeah, I mean, definitely school helps. I don't want to say that I didn't learn anything in grad school, but grad school kind of
So
speech,
you're a
like-
doctor.
No, not a doctor,
Okay.
just graduate. So I have my
okay.
master's
Got
in
it.
speech. But you go through the classes and you learn like through textbooks and clinical practice and things like that. But I think the majority of what I know comes from just that experience out in the
Hands-on.
field and working with so many kids over the years, and then having my own.
Yeah.
That I think gave me even just like more experience of I've been through it myself, and this is what I did with my daughter, and this is what worked and what didn't for me. And then just talking to other families about what works and what doesn't, you kind of just get all these case studies, and you can kind of form your own
And every situation's different. So like,
your therapy style from
Yep.
there.
Yeah, that's awesome. How long total have you been in therapy?
I got my master's degree in 2016.
Okay.
So this will be my 10th year.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so cool.
beautiful. Now, along with that, along with doing your Magic School Bus, you did surrogacy on top of being a mother
Yes.
and wife. You've been busy
You got
this
the
year.
balance going pretty good.
I don't know. That's the thing. When I saw your podcast is Two Mamas, No Manual, I was like, I don't have a manual either. I don't know what I'm doing.
None of us do.
I'm just
We're winging it. Yep,
Right.
exactly.
If you had, so you had this new business, right? You've only been having your bus for like 3-4 years. And then a year ago you decided you go into surrogacy?
Yeah, so
Another midlife crisis.
kind of.
Honestly, second phase.
I'm like,
of midlife crisis.
when is the middle of my life? Because I feel like I'm hitting it many times.
I think it's just crises.
Yeah.
It's just life crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have one child of my own. She's 4 years old. She's going to turn 5 this spring. And after she was born, it took a little while, but I think my husband and I just came to the conclusion that we were a one and done family.
Yep.
And I had never really had a solid
Idea.
opinion on that.
3 kids.
Exactly.
4, right.
I always thought I would have multiples, and then I had one, and then it was just like, I think I'm done.
Yeah, you just feel it
But
complete.
it just felt like a big question mark. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like,
yeah.
I would like to have another one, but I'm good with the one that I
Right.
have. So
Yeah. And so with that in mind, it was feeling of like, I'll never be pregnant again.
Yes.
And I actually,
I have that.
Yeah.
Yes, I
it's
have
kind of
that,
weird because
yeah.
like my pregnancy was really pretty
great.
good. Yeah.
Mine wasn't. Yeah, I'm still like.
My pregnancy was great. My birthing experience was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, I get migraines and headaches around like my cycle, and and when I was pregnant, no migraines,
Easy
nothing.
peasy.
Physically I felt really good. Like I didn't get any morning sickness the whole time.
Yeah. With both.
Well, just with the first one so far,
Okay.
and that's what
set
kind
her
of
up.
it set me up to think like, I'll never really get to experience that again.
Yeah.
And, do I, want to, or do I feel like that was good? Like I can close that chapter. And so it was this kind of, wasn't really sure what I wanted or how I felt about things. And I ended up talking with somebody at some random, it was like a Mother's Day brunch with this mom's club that I'm part of. And she just happened to mention that she had been a surrogate. And I was like, that is so interesting. Tell me more. So she told me her whole story. She told me the agency that she went through. And that's what kind of started this like rabbit hole that I went down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not
It's
something
a-
people
that's
really
crazy.
do. Right. That's wild.
It's just so much.
Yeah.
But then, I kind of, it was an experience where I was like, I can say no at any time. I can decide it's not for me and I can just walk away.
Just get the knowledge.
Right, exactly. But I kept chatting with people from the agency. I kept kind of working on my little profile. And I eventually just didn't say no at any point. Like I was like, okay, this is feeling good. This is feeling right. I want to keep going. And then I matched with a family in New Jersey, and it's like online dating basically.
Yes.
They're like, we think your profile would go really well with their profile. Like, do you want to meet like virtually? And I was like, yes. And then we basically interviewed each other, and right away I was like, they need to have a baby. Like they are, so like desperate for their family, and like they've been through so much trauma, and like they've been through so much struggle for so long.
I'm sure that's fulfilling in its own
Yeah,
thing.
and
Just
just,
like,
you know,
I'm doing this for them.
An
Right.
act of
Gifting them.
service.
Yeah.
And hearing their story and just like what their hopes and dreams were, and I just like my heart like kind of exploded, and I was, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it started with the kind of it's not selfish, but it's like for myself, I wanted to know, like, do I want to experience pregnancy and birth again? Is this going to give me maybe a little bit of like baby fever? Like, is it going to make me feel some sort of
Emotional roller
way?
coaster, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it was a very extreme way of figuring out if my family was complete or not.
Right.
So
Were you very communicative with your husband the whole time?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And like I said, he's kind of that supportive guy of like, if this is truly what you want to do,
Yeah.
just like with the bus, he was like, I can't stop you.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's like, if you've thought it through and you are open with me and you're not doing anything like shady or weird, like
just
you
hiding.
know,
It's a big life choice for your whole family too.
Exactly.
So.
Like,
pregnancy is rough on everyone in the house.
Yeah, and he had to be, he had to be open and willing to go along with the whole journey too.
That's awesome.
So when you decided to go through it, how did you have that conversation with your daughter?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
So she was still 3 at the time.
Okay, so you could tell her just about
but
anything.
she's honestly, she's very with
intuitive.
it. Yeah. She's very aware of things and very like conversational. So just from the beginning, I explained to her that I was going to grow a baby in my belly, and then this baby belongs to, and I, told her the mom and dad, and he's going to grow in my belly, and then he's going to come out, and he's going to go live with his mom and dad. And I said, just like you live with your mommy and daddy, he's going to go live with.
And
his
at that
mommy
age,
and
she's
daddy.
like, okay, cool.
And she's like, okay, yeah. Because when they're that young, like they don't have a worldview, they don't understand like norms or how things happen, and she's just kind of like, this is the way the world works.
Yeah.
Okay, that tracks.
That's cool though, because that's teaching her something so young. Like,
not all families look the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, but other than like the agency and the process, it's a lot of screening.
It is a lot.
Like a lot of paperwork, a lot of figuring stuff out before,
lots of legalities.
The actual. So how, like, time frame wise, from the start of like you figuring out, okay, this is what I want to do. You met the family. Now paperwork's a go. To when you took on their embryo.
Right.
How long was that?
Tons of hormone shots. I know that much.
Sometimes I forget about all that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I spent so much time doing shots. So many needles. But yeah, so like I said, it was a Mother's Day brunch that I thought about surrogacy and kind of went down. And then that whole summer, it was like back and forth for me of whether or not I was going to look into it more. I met with the family in October.
In person?
No, it was online.
Online version.
Yeah, that was like our little online interview.
Okay.
It was right before Halloween. And then November, December, January was all the medical screenings, all of the legal stuff, all of the mental health screenings that we had to go through. And I say we because it was me and my husband had to go through it as well. Like he had
because you guys are in this together.
Meet with the social worker, mental health, and I think he had to do some medical testing, but not much because the
not his,
baby was not his at all. But we did have to. I know we had to like sign paperwork that was like, yes, this baby is not biologically ours in any way. And then I had to do a whole bunch of injections. That was
like
February-ish.
A couple months worth?
Yep. Because they have
Tons
to kind
of
of get your
estrogen.
exactly.
Yep.
Get you prepped, trick your body into
we just
getting pregnant.
We got to pause there because I've always been so curious. How did you feel with that much estrogen? Like, did you feel a difference, or was it pretty subtle?
I don't think I noticed too much of a difference.
Okay. I was always curious about that.
Yeah.
I could never like tell that either. Like, having PCOS, like I've had scares where I think that I'm pregnant because I'm so late on my period, but I'm not pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, people know when they ovulate and like they get the signs, like they know before they know that they're pregnant. That is not me. Like I had no idea.
I'm very in tune with my cycle.
Yep, not me.
Yeah.
I went to an urgent care because my mom actually got in a small fender bender. Someone rear-ended her, so I was like, we have to go to urgent care. I just don't want you to have any like neck pain or anything. Let's just go get checked out. So while we're there, I was like, I've been having like some issues down there. Like, I'm just gonna get checked out. Maybe it's a yeast infection or whatever. So I'm in the room. We're in separate rooms, and they have me do a pregnancy test, which I'm like, no way.
Oh, no.
Like, no way. And the doctor comes in, and she's like, so, and she like has it, and like I know already, but I'm like, what is happening? And she tells me, she's like, you're pregnant, and I just start sobbing, and I'm like, can you get my mom, please? Like, I'm 20.
Who cares about my mom's neck?
Yeah, like my mom's fine now. She needs to come help me. Like, oh my gosh,
new problem.
Fender bender's nothing now, Mom.
But I had no like my boobs didn't hurt. Like I didn't. There was no signs.
How far
for me.
along were you?
8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, holy shit, like, now I gotta tell the dad, and, like, I was keeping it, like,
Yeah.
there was no doubt in my mind that I wasn't, but I was scared, like, I was like, what the heck?
There was a show, like, didn't know I was pregnant or something.
Yep.
Yeah, some people go, like, full term, though. Like,
Give
I was
birth
8
a
weeks.
baby. And
Yes!
no.
I knew a girl like that. I worked with a girl that she was pregnant, and she was, like, I'm pretty sure she didn't know she was pregnant until she pretty much gave birth. Because she just stayed so thin.
My
like,
sister-in-law was like that. I think she was about 7 months.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
She was 17 years old. She was a cheerleader. She was super athletic, and she was like the flyer for the cheer squad.
Baby doing cartwheels.
She's 7 months pregnant, and they're throwing her around.
Oh my
gosh!
And
I guess she never really like popped or anything. And there was something, she went in for some injury or sickness or something, and they did a pregnancy test.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine like just the emotional plot twist if you're
of,
like
you're having a baby in 2 months.
Yes.
Yes, soon.
Like, at least I had some time. Like,
Yes.
8 weeks was, like, still pretty early. Like,
But,
but being 7 months pregnant, like, oh, hey, 2 months, you're gonna be a mom, brand new.
Right.
Holy crap.
For me, like, my chest always got so sore. Like, my boobs would just be so painful. Like, that was always, and it would be like,
any of that.
see, I get that before my period, but when
now that I gave birth, those are symptoms that I have.
Yes, so I'll get that during my period, but usually it's like a week before my period. And I remember when I was pregnant with my son, my boobs were like so sore, and I was like, okay, I gotta be getting my period. And then just like days crept by, and I was like,
where's this
period? I was like, boobs are still hurting, period's not here. And sure enough, I took a test and I was pregnant, and I took the test at like exactly 4 weeks. So like very early on, I knew that like something was happening.
Yep.
Were you trying for your daughter? Like, was that planned?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was the very like, stereotypical, got married, we were married for a couple of years, then we wanted to have a kid.
Yeah.
And it took just about a year of trying, because I'm very neurotic. I'm like, it hasn't happened yet. And everybody's like, give it a year. And I'm like, I don't want to. I want it to work now.
Yeah.
Because you think it will be easy. You spend so long trying to prevent it from just happening.
Yeah.
You know?
So technically, like by the book, I wasn't having fertility problems, but in my mind, I'm like, I have fertility problems. Yes.
Yep.
So it was kind of funny because I ended up going to my OB's office. I scheduled an appointment to talk with them to discuss what I could do to, help my fertility and like help this happen. And at that appointment, they were like, well, guess what? You're pregnant.
Yeah.
I think I was like 3 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
They were like, your HCG levels are like microscopic.
Yeah.
So they're like, come back next week and we'll like measure your levels. And I was like, holy crap, like it actually, like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it was just a funny twist of fate there where I was like wanting to talk to them about it, and then they're like, well,
that happens a lot.
is,
Just like the couples that will adopt and then they'll end up having so we were talking about how you had the estrogen shots.
Yes.
Okay, so then now you're prepped, you're getting the embryo transferred.
Yeah, and that was in March of 2025.
Was it the first batch, or did you have to do a few?
Just one embryo.
Look at you. Look, you take babies.
Yeah.
More than, it just took a year. But
were they able to keep the other embryos, like in case they want to do this again?
This family had 3 embryos frozen total, because they had gone through probably about 8 or 9 years of fertility, like a whole journey of they tried IVF
expensive.
And
like the investments that some people take. And I have a girlfriend who went through IVF. She has twins now, but she was like, this almost broke up my marriage.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I was a completely different person. Like, it really put me through a whirlwind. Like, so.
And they're this was like their whole 30s. Because they're older now. They're 42.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I love that they didn't give up hope, though. They just went a different avenue.
Well, it took them a long time to really come around to the idea of surrogacy, too. Because, like I said, they'd been through so much. And it just takes such a toll on yourself and, like you said, like your marriage too. Like, this was basically like their whole marriage was fertility struggles.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is just so sad when there's a family that wants it that bad, and you know that they're going to give the best life to that child, and then there's people out there that are like on drugs and having kids, and it's like this sad. I hate that is the world that we live in.
And this was just like their whole like hope and dream is to just be Parents. Mom and dad. And you know, so they
Oh,
finally.
good for you for
Yeah.
giving it to them. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
when they finally decided to go through surrogacy, they had to find, you know, somebody that they really
Were you their
could
first
trust.
surrogate?
I think they interviewed a couple other people.
Oh, but so
and-
that was their very first transfer into a surrogacy, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
kept it.
Yeah.
Oh, good
I
for
know.
them.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
seriously.
sometimes people
Right.
go through so many different surrogates, so many different
and especially
transfers.
after being through what they went through, like,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Oh,
Right, and-
what a relief. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
So you think it took a toll on you at all?
like
Like mentally, or
mentally,
just like,
physically,
yeah,
you
and
know,
all of it.
all of the above.
Well, I'm sure the weeks waiting to find out if it took.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
It was
that's
really,
tough.
it was a stressful time then
Yeah.
because it is just a lot of, I'm carrying on my normal life, you know, I'm
But you
still
don't want to
like,
let this family
still,
down.
yeah, I'm still like bonding
Right.
a lot with the mom. Like we're texting all the time, and she is asking me every day, like, how are you feeling? Anything going on?
Oh, but you
And-
know that shares like so much weight behind
Oh,
those
yeah.
yeah,
questions.
and it's just like I can tell like she doesn't want to bombard me, but she's also like this is all
Curious
she's thinking
and
about.
yes, yeah.
And then it was extra
Yeah.
hard for her at that time because her mom passed away like
Oh.
a couple days after the transfer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was like a really, I think it was a pretty sudden like illness and like decline,
Oh my
and
gosh.
she was like, her mom was like her best friend, and so she's like
Oh,
ups and
sure.
downs, and
So
everything's all over the place, and you know she doesn't even know if this is gonna work or not.
right, and you're trying to hold space.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
and I'm
like,
trying not to, you know, it's early pregnancy. There's like random symptoms or signs or things, and
Yeah,
I'm
and you
trying
just
not to
never
like tell her
know.
anything negative, but I also want to tell her like,
keep
Be
her hopes
transparent.
up,
Right,
but
yeah.
also
Yeah.
be realistic.
right,
Yeah.
like there was like,
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah,
all
there-
around.
mhm,
Yeah.
there were a couple times where I was like, oh, you know, I think I'm having some like implantation bleeding, or you know, like just like early things that happen, and I just like, I'm like, do I tell her because she's gonna freak out? Like,
Yeah.
Did you,
But-
did you feel that you were pregnant, like even before they tested? Were you like, I'm feeling pretty good about this?
Yeah.
I think I was feeling like I didn't have any bad vibes. Yeah, I don't think I had any like negative feelings or signs like, oh no, this isn't working. But I wasn't overwhelmingly like, I know that it's
Right.
there
That it took.
until we got the pregnancy confirmation, and then you know from there, I think it's like 9 weeks ish when you get like the heartbeat confirmation and all
Yeah.
that, and so then from there I was like, okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Were they strict? Like, I know in some cases the parents are like, only eat this and only do that and only do this.
Yeah, they were very like, whatever you like need
Whatever
to do
helps
for
you.
your body,
Awesome.
and
Be,
like
to
yes,
feel normal enough
Yeah.
to like nourish. That's how
Right.
I feel like I would be. I'd be like, listen, change as little as
Yeah.
like as long as you know you're not like housing
Smoking
down
cigs or
sushi
something.
and
Right.
like hey
Yeah.
lunch meat from the gas station.
exactly. They're like, you know, just be logical, you know,
Yeah.
be like cognizant of what you're doing, and
Right.
which I very much am. Even with my own daughter, I cut out caffeine like completely,
Yeah.
and so I did that for this pregnancy
I did that too.
And she didn't even realize until like months in that I was doing that, and then she was like, oh my gosh,
Thank
like
you.
you did not need to
Aw.
do that, and like thank you so much.
I
And-
love appreciative people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's some people, you watch a lot of movies and you see horror stories of like these things going wrong, but it's like they are investing in you, you know, so they're putting out their time, their money to get to know you, and then, you know, there's, I mean, not that this is the case at all because you're going through an agency, but like some people last minute with adoption and stuff decide like, well, I actually want to keep it.
Right.
I know this is like totally different, but that's hard because
Right.
these people invested and they're like looking forward to it. So like she probably was so nervous that
There's
anything
so
could
ma-
happen.
yeah, there's
Right.
so
you know,
much.
not that you can decide once you're that far into it
Right.
about anything, but just like what if it doesn't take, or what if something happens? What if your body decides that this isn't, you know?
Yeah, there's
So
so
I'm
many
sure
There's
her
been-
stress was just like,
Oh yeah, there's
Uh-huh.
been weird cases where, like, as she mentioned, the contract to like written, this is not our baby.
yep.
And then
Because psychologically, like I
Yeah.
that's why I was saying
right,
that.
but then people will, and then
I
when
know,
the
try to
baby's
say,
born,
they're like,
well, no,
go
also
away.
people do birth their own baby, like
Like,
where
so-
they think
You can
they'll slip like one little sneaky time.
You have to legally, you have to sign a paper, and you can cut this if it's TMI, but we
No.
had to abstain
Right, right.
for
Yeah,
several weeks
Oh, I didn't
around that
think about
time.
that.
People will birth
Their
their own
own
baby,
DNA. Oh my
and they thought it
gosh.
was their baby the
Yeah.
whole time.
Oh man.
There's even a
Yeah.
case.
well, there's just another reason why I, went to
think,
surrogacy.
and I'm not. I think I'm saying this right, but they did an embryo transfer, and that embryo stuck but
Another embryo, and it was
of
twins.
theirs. So they
Yes.
were birthed at the same time,
Uh-huh.
but one was her biological child and one was the surrogacy baby.
Which
Oh my
that's actually
gosh.
kind of like
I mean, that's amazing.
2 for 1.
It's so
Bizarre.
cool, but it's
Yeah.
like,
The
holy
science
crap.
behind all of this is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
like a lot of times, like when you said your friend did what in vitro,
Vitro,
and
yep.
she had twins,
Yep.
that's very common because
Yep.
they put multiple embryos at
Yep.
once. So fascinating.
Oh,
all
I
the
never
different
thought about
elements.
that though.
Yeah.
About like having sex in that
yeah, you're
interim.
not allowed. You're not
Yeah.
allowed.
I mean, it's smart that they make you sign it though, because
But
like, could you imagine?
Some people are
There's,
sneaky.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
very specific like parentage paperwork that you have to sign, and
Yeah.
you have to coordinate with the hospital and everything. Like all of the wristbands and everything have to be very like specific, and like
Yeah.
they got their own recovery room, and I had my own recovery
So
room.
how did the
and
wristband work? Like for the baby, they put
They
their
put
last
their
name
parents'
on it?
names,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so it's very like they had matching wristbands,
Yeah.
and there's no chance of like a mix-up or anything.
Yeah.
So going into maybe more of the birth,
Yeah.
they were in a room with you. You did a hospital birth,
Yeah.
and you said you had a doula.
I did. It was a party.
Mine was a party too. I invited.
So was mine. Not a
Yeah.
good one, but there was a
Oh,
lot
wow.
of freaking people in
Oh
there.
yeah, mine was like a SeaWorld exhibit because I was in the pool flopping around, and everyone was just like watching and like
do you have
cheering.
a video? Did you like?
No,
do it
but there's photos.
Yeah.
But where it's just like it was the whole
that's
exhibit. And like how did you feel like when you did you get induced, or was it okay, so you got induced.
Yeah.
So everyone knew it was game time and
Yeah.
ready to go get their
yeah,
baby.
so I actually got induced for my first one too.
Okay.
I was 39 weeks and I had high blood pressure. They
Mhm.
didn't want to diagnose with preeclampsia, but they were like, but it's pretty much
And you were
preeclampsia.
far enough.
Right,
that-
and yeah, exactly. I was like 4 days away from my due date.
Right.
So they induced me for my first, and I kind of slept through most of that, like the contractions and the dilation and all that, because I had a really bad migraine. That like from the high blood pressure,
Yeah.
it gave me some meds that like helped with that, and it just like put me to sleep.
Yes.
And then kind of woke up, kind of had a few contractions get a little more intense, and I was like, epidural, please.
Yes. Yes.
So then I slept some more. So my first birth was very like kind of in and out,
Yes.
and I was aware of it, but it wasn't really like
Chaos.
and it wasn't really anything to like write home about.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
just-
Did you
you
like
just did it.
tear
Yeah.
or anything? Like it was.
The first, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
awesome.
Yeah, and she was like 7 pounds.
Yeah,
Um,
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was-
yeah, she was ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Not
it
mine.
was-
Mine was
didn't-
9.94 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, River was 9.
Yeah.
River
Wow.
was 9
Wow.
pounds too. Yeah.
We're crazy.
Yeah. So it like the first, it was very smooth. It was very easy. But again, I was kind of like, I'll never be pregnant again. Like, that's it. That's my birth experience.
Yeah.
So again, selfishly, it's weird, but I wanted to do another birth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel
One
that way
experience
also.
is just
Yes.
like
Yeah.
one more time, maybe.
Right. Exactly. And so this time around, again, it was Halloween.
Oh.
And I was 37 weeks, and I had just a standard like non-stress test and like a nurse's appointment that morning. And the mom to be came from New Jersey. She drove like an hour and a half to meet me just for that appointment because she was available, and she wanted to come to some of these appointments as much as possible. It was a good thing
Get
she
the
was
full
there.
experience too.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, because again, it was like deja vu. They were like high blood pressure, and they were like, we're gonna monitor you for about 4 hours, and if your blood pressure is still high 4 hours later, we're gonna recommend induction. So I'm like texting my husband like, I think it's the time.
Yeah.
Like baby's coming today.
Did you feel that did you feel like you were like, I'm feeling a little off, or
No,
so you
yeah.
were thinking you were still had a few weeks?
Well, kind of, but at this time around, like I hit like 34, 35 weeks, and I was like, I'm done.
You're feeling
I was
big.
like, I have to go. Like my due date was originally November 21st, and they did schedule me for an induction on November 14th, but this was October 31st.
Right,
So,
right.
And-
it's a Halloween baby. Like,
He was born the next morning,
Okay.
so November 1st. But at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go like 2 more weeks. Like, I'm so like huge. I'm so tired. I'm just over it. Like, I almost like want to get this over with, sort of thing.
Well, also because it is the weight of like someone else's baby. It's like, okay, I know baby's probably good by now.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
let's get it out. of my
37
hands.
weeks is full term.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like I think baby's good to go to where
Yes.
baby needs
and
to go.
mentally, I had been saying for weeks at that point, like, I just want to make it through October.
Yes.
Like October, like when November 1st hits, whatever happens, happens. And it was like the universe was like, okay, well,
here you go.
So I was like on cloud 9. I was like, obviously I want everything to go well medically, and I want him to be healthy, and I want it all to be safe.
But it was like
on
your timeline.
Yeah, they were like, we might induce you. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
The whole time I'm like, blood pressure's still high.
You got to see Mom's face. I'm sure she was so scared.
She was,
cut the cord?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the parents were there. Like, she called her husband. He's a doctor, and he was like at some hospital in New Jersey. She's like, all right, get cleaned up, like go home, get our stuff. It's happening.
Yeah.
So he
gosh.
made it.
I'm like getting secondhand tears for her.
know,
like I can
know.
feel it.
My husband like picked up our daughter from daycare and like dropped her off at my parents' house, with her Halloween costume and everything for trick-or-treating.
Cute.
And then he came up to the hospital. And so the 4 of us were just hanging out for a
while. Such a
while.
bonding experience.
Yeah,
like, really it
and
is.
I'm like crying.
I know, it's so beautiful.
And, the mom and dad I could tell they're like very like nervous, like it's happening. What can we do for you? How are you feeling?
Because they've been waiting a decade and a half and just like trying so hard.
The day of, it's just a lot of sitting around for a while because they had to like.
And unexpected,
They had to like start you with the Pitocin and like kind of get your.
Yeah, because they had to induce you, so it's like you weren't even necessarily effaced or dilated.
Nope.
Yeah, that's
but
rough.
yeah, so then it was like this time around, I was more there for it. I was more present and like able to kind of roll with whatever my body was doing. My doula showed up after trick-or-treating with her family. This was like 9 p.m.
So was that something that you found, like that you wanted, or the parents?
Yeah, I chose to have a doula because I had a doula for my first birth. Which, fun fact, she showed up like 10 minutes after my daughter was born. Because I kept telling her, like, nothing's happening. I'm kind of sleeping. I'm kind of chilling. And then she was like 45 minutes away.
You should not have been the point of contact.
Well, it was me and my husband.
Okay.
But by the time he was like, yeah, you should start coming over now, then they were like, okay, you're ready to push. And boom, baby was born, and then my doula showed up. But she was great for the post-birth, like everything. That she came in clutch.
So is that something that was covered through them, or like you?
Yes.
Okay,
so the whole thing, there's like a contract of like the stipend that you get, and then even like with this agency, they break it down into like there's different packages, like benefits that you get. So I got a certain allotment of money to use towards doula services, or even like prenatal massages and like the kind of like the self-care
to reduce your stress, I'm sure, because that's a big thing.
Like just physically, just to get those massages, like you just feel so much better.
I got so many chiropractic adjustments during mine. The one put me in labor. A chiropractic adjustment. Yeah, it was awesome. Wow. But that's probably so good that you picked doula, even so that she could also facilitate for the intending parents.
Yes. And my doula had been a surrogate herself as well, so that was like really special.
She really leveled and
and
bridged
have
any
her
gaps.
in the room. She was, like you said, like a facilitator, and she was able to read the room. She like gently suggested to the parents that they leave for a couple hours just to like go get dinner. They had a little place to stay nearby because they didn't know how long things are going to be. Yeah. But just go to your room and like
and their
try to sleep.
Anticipation was probably just like, that's a very potent energy to have in a room.
And when you have people kind of watching you. And it was like, as soon as they left and they were relaxing as much as possible in their room. I know the mom wasn't sleeping at all.
Right.
But I was able to relax and like just kind of roll with the contractions. My water broke like on its own, I guess, with the Pitocin and such. But I was just like chilling in the hospital bed and the water broke, and I didn't experience that the first time around. So I was like, oh wow, okay, that's what that's like. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's still going. And then my doula was great with like suggesting, hey, maybe we walk a couple laps around the hospital, and like maybe we sit on the ball for a while and
get things
moving
moving
this way, that way. Yeah, and it really helped move things along.
How long was the labor?
So they started the induction at like 3 p.m. and he was born around 4:50 in the morning.
Wow, so just like over 12
hours.
Over
12 hours, but a lot of it was just chilling.
Yeah.
My water didn't break until 1 a.m.
Okay.
So it was like from 1 to 4 was really when the party started.
Wow, so your water broke probably like in the transition period of labor and then into active. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then this time around I really just wanted to see like how long I could make it before requesting an epidural because I knew I was probably going to do an epidural at some point.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point, I requested the epidural, and then I kind of was like, oh no, maybe I'm too late because it really started ramping up.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have
Was
to
that
sit
right
still.
after your water broke?
No, it was maybe like an hour or two later.
Okay.
And I was like, uh-oh,
Then
get
that's
this needle in my
transition.
back,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
because I'm about to, like, I can't sit still. Like, these contractions are crazy. And then I got the epidural, and they checked me right after, and they were like, you were already at 9 centimeters.
It's time to go.
I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I could have made it 1 more centimeter.
Yeah.
But the epidural was great just to get me through the finish line, birth him. You know, the parents were right there. And, you know, like, kind of like privacy-wise, like, it really worked out well. They were on the side, so, like, they weren't, like, right, you know, where the action is. Exactly. I still felt very,
I had so many
like,
people looking at mine.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't care where the doctors were or where my husband was. Like, he was right there helping me, like, get through all the pushing.
Yeah.
But, you know, they were very respectful, but, like, still were able to be there and, like, experience
Be
the
a
birth
part
of their
of-
son.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the
Beautiful.
dad cut the cord, and then they immediately put the baby on mom.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
only imagine.
Yeah,
the
and
tears.
oh my gosh.
Was she a mess?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm a mess.
I'm a mess.
I'm a mess for her.
Yeah, and it was nice. Like, my doula was there, and she, like, snapped some photos for everybody, and, you know, the mom was like, those photos are not going anywhere.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, they got to be there, and it was just like the emotion, like the happiness was just through the roof. Everybody was just
Yes.
so
Elated.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the oxytocin was
The
just flowing.
oxytocin,
Yeah.
I
And
love
so
that.
yeah, it was just immediately like that was what I wanted, was like he's here, give him to his
them.
mom.
Yep.
Like, come on,
Yep.
like let's do
How
this
much
immediately.
did you weigh?
He was 6 pounds, I think, and 14 ounces.
Healthy boy.
Yeah,
Healthy
Would you
boy.
do it again?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me
Good.
personally,
It-
like
it's
that
a
was
lot.
Yeah, that is.
that
a lot.
it just kind of the whole journey like fulfilled what I was looking for in
Yep.
the first place. Like
Yeah.
Right.
it really solidified, like, yeah, I don't need another baby in my family. Like my little family of 3 is just, that just feels complete now. Like that birth was so positive, like it went so well.
Yep.
That I'm kind of like, that's good.
Yes.
That can be the closing of that chapter.
Yeah.
Like,
What if they would want another one and they're like, I want
I know.
you though. Like,
That's-
you're the
Yeah.
one.
I'm kind of nervous, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah.
But if they do, I think I would have to just politely
Yeah.
like
Not for you.
decline in
Yeah.
some way. And I think also what kind of helps is that I did get officially diagnosed with preeclampsia this time around.
So it would be scary.
So
You might
from
not
an,
even
from an
be-
agency
Yeah.
standpoint,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be qualified.
I was,
Yeah.
when you had mentioned
Yes.
that you had
Yeah,
blood
that was
pressure
the
the
whole
last time,
thing.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. But that's
Yes.
a good agency to have even given you the shot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
clearly
'Cause I
you
had to
could do
explain
it.
to them, like, yes, I had high blood pressure. I was
At
induced.
39 weeks.
Exactly. We had to
okay.
go through the exact specifics of everything, and I had
Yeah.
to like get my OB to like almost like write a letter to them, and they were like, "Okay, all right,
Yeah.
you
Fair
can do
enough.
this." But
Yeah.
yeah, but this time around it was like you got that preeclampsia stamp.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like yeah,
no more, mama.
And,
Sorry.
yeah, and you know I'm not old, but I'm kind of old, and I'm kind of
Don't
like
you hate that,
from
though?
the pregnant.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so,
Like, in that
geriatric
realm.
pregnancy
It's
is
like
what they call like.
35.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
I know.
I'm approaching that. So, you know, I kind of like, I think I'm good. I almost like got that out of my system.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I did it. And he's the cutest little baby. And I
Yeah.
love getting like just little snippets, little updates of their life. And, you know, it's
You literally made their dream come true, and
Yeah.
it's like you
There's
did that.
a show
right?
on Netflix called The Good Place, and it's about like
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
the girl that dies and like
Yes.
she's trying to get into heaven. You're definitely going to the good place.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks. yeah.
That's a labor of love.
Yeah. So it was,
What would you say to anybody who's contemplating it or like thinking about it? Like, what's some advice you have?
I would say if you're feeling called to it, you know, whether that's from a spiritual or religious or some sort of like higher being that's like pushing you in a certain direction, like just explore it, you know, kind of talk
See
to
if
some
it's a fit.
people, you know, like listen to people who have done it before and are willing to like share their story. And kind of like for me, it was, if you're not saying no, you know, kind of keep going down that path. Like what's making you interested in it, and really just I would say look into it and
Do your research.
Don't
Be open
dismiss
to
it
it,
as
yeah.
don't dismiss it as something that like nobody does or it's too crazy or you know.
You said there is a Facebook group of
There-
like
I'm-
people
Oh,
who are
there's
surrogates?
so
Yeah.
many.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot
that's
of
a way to
You
get
have to
contact.
discern.
listen to yourself and kind of there's sometimes there's like negativity online or the naysayers or people who will like cast doubt and you know make you kind of question what you're feeling. But if you just listen to what you're feeling called to do and you kind of explore that, I think it'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
only you can really like make that decision for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
gonna
such
just
a beautiful thing.
I'm gonna cry and then like reopen all my surrogacy like emails and applications
Yes.
now and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I could totally see you being a surrogate.
yeah,
Yeah,
that and a
definitely.
doula I would love to.
Yeah.
I'm obviously so like, well,
I think I had just such a scare that I'm like, I don't really like
Yeah.
my pregnancy was great,
Yeah.
and then the birth was like, I mean, she was due on her due date, which is crazy because I was induced. They started the Pitocin, then her heart rate started to drop, then my blood pressure is going up, and they're like, all right, we got to get you in right now. I was
we
only
had a
6
moment of that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
only
even
6
at home.
centimeters dilated, so they had to go in and break my water. I got an epidural that wore off. They gave me another epidural that didn't take, so I had to get a spinal tap. That made me sick as hell, so I'm like throwing up on myself. Like I didn't even remember carrying her back to the room. Like they put your baby in bed with you to wheel you back,
Yeah.
and I get back to the room, and my sister is like holding her, and I'm like, who brought her back?
Like how did she get
And my
here?
sister's like, you did, and I'm like,
Listen, babe.
my gosh.
I'm pretty
No
fucking
one-
out
Yeah,
of it.
no,
No
that's
one can quote us when we're in the middle of childbirth, okay? If there's one thing I
Yes.
know, it's like we're allowed to tune out, okay? My head was buried on a plastic pool, okay? People were like lifting me up to like put water in my mouth and then just dropping me back down into plastic.
Yeah, my mom was scared because when you get a C-section, they take you into this, you know, like operating room, and they put up blue tarps like all around you. So
Yep.
you're like laying on this skinny metal table. It's horrible. Like before they did the spinal tap, because the doctor was stuck in another room, so I'm like sitting there waiting. I felt like a tree was coming out of my butthole.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Like I'm young. This is my first like
Yeah.
pregnancy, so my mom's like, it's okay, you're doing great. And now like the drugs start kicking in, so I'm like way out of it, and the doctors are like pushing, and like I was numb down there, but I could still like feel the
all the
pressure.
pressure.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was like whispering to my mom, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? But I was yelling, so I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are they doing? And like the nurse is like, you're doing great, we're almost there.
Oh, yeah.
So when I think about like that, I'm like, well, hopefully it just won't be like that. You know,
Yeah.
like, hopefully it'll be not like that at all.
Every birth is different, you
It is,
know?
yeah.
And it's like, it's so hard. Like, you can't have any expectations. You can
Yeah.
have hopes,
You can.
and you
It's
can.
just such an unexpected thing.
Right, and you can have advocacy. So it's like you can hire a doula, or you can like educate yourself, or you can have like an appointed advocate in the room. But like, you have plan A, B, and C, and know that you're probably doing plan
There's
Z.
no
Yeah.
manual.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no
No
manual.
manual.
Great way to end it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. I
you.
hope that our followers can resonate with some of that, and like you said, do some research if that's something that they're interested in.
Do you have a website for your magic school bus?
Yes.
Yes, pivoting back to like my business life,
Yeah.
I do. It's magicspeechbus.com.
There you go.
And I'm kind of on Instagram with that, but kind of not.
Yeah.
I left social media. I had like a big burnout moment. I was like, I'm gone. It's been
Well,
like
if you
a year.
ever need a
so-
social media manager,
yeah.
Leah.
But yeah, so you can follow Magic Speech Bus on Instagram, and then I have a website, and I think there's a Facebook page too because they go hand in hand. But
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, please check her out
Yes.
if you're interested in your local. And thank you so much for coming
Thank you
on.
for having me.
Yes.
This was fun.
Yeah, anytime.
Yes. We
Please
love
keep
learning
on
about all
coming
of it.
over.
yeah.
And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, please check out Kristin's website. Please check us out. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a 5-star review. And just remember, it's okay to not have a manual.
Yep.
You know?
To wing it.
We're doing our best.
Yeah. If you want to be on the podcast, or you have a story that you want to get out there, shoot us an email.
Questions?
Questions, yep.
We'll
Drop
give
below.
advice.
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of experience in a lot of different things, so
Who knows? All right.
chaotically.
Yeah.
No manual.
We'll give
but-
you a manual from the people with no manuals. We'll do that.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.